everyone, my name is Jesse Ramirez and welcome to my brand new web show, Jesse Chats With, where I, Jesse Ramirez, chat with people who I think are inspirational and cool. For my first ever guest, she's an inspiring actress / singer who recently graduated Wagner University and is a content creator with over 716,000 plus followers on TikTok and almost over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Please welcome actress, singer, and sketch comedian Emily Fitzgerald. So nice to have you on the show, Em.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to chat with you, and I bet you're excited to chat with me too.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so my first question is, how did you find your passion in life?
Oh, okay. I guess that one's really easy. I found my passion in life really young. I've always wanted to entertain. I wanted to be an actor since I was 8 years old. And yeah, and I just did everything towards that. So I took acting classes when I was younger. And then when I went to high school, there was a performing arts high school. So I auditioned and I went there. And then for college, I went for musical theater. So basically everything I've done in life was just toward that. I just kind of got lucky. I knew what I wanted to do at a very young age. And while that's not usually a really lucrative career being an actor, I feel like I've made a way to make it work for myself where I still get to be an actor. I just work for myself, which is a little strange, but it works for me and I'm very passionate about what I do.
Wow, that sounds pretty cool. Now, my next question is, who helped inspire you to follow your path?
Who helped inspire me? Oh, well, I guess number one, I would say my parents. They really, for whatever reason, never cared that I wanted to pursue being on stage and being an actor. They always really encouraged it. That was their favorite thing, to go see me in a show. And so, yeah, I guess my parents, because I imagine a lot of kids, when they say they want to do that, their parents would rather them do anything else because it's just not something that you can typically make a lot of money from, and it's not really a stable job. But I don't know, my parents just really believe in me. And yeah, so I've always been supported with them and people who inspire me. I guess like a lot of other sketch comedians. There was this one guy named Benny Drama who, he doesn't do it as much online now because he's gotten more successful, but he used to do like a lot of Kardashian spoofs and with green screen backgrounds, and I used to watch him in college and think like, oh, that would be so cool to do something like that. And I used to want to be on SNL, and then I realized you can kind of make it happen for yourself. So I would say he was a big inspiration. And I'm trying to think of like anyone else when I was younger, because when I was younger, really only YouTube was the thing. And I can't even say it because it's so bad now. She got so canceled. But I guess I could say it because before she got canceled, people were huge fans of her. But like, I was super into Miranda Sings. I was like, oh, this is so fun. Like, she was like a musical theater girl and she did a sketch, basically, a character. It was comedy. I mean, obviously now we see that she did some things that she shouldn't have done. But at that time, I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, that's cool that's her job.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I'm glad you got people who support you, and I'm glad you found people who inspired you to become the person you are today. Now, I know you do some short videos on both your YouTube and TikTok accounts. So my next question is, what is your creative process when coming up with these types of videos?
Sure. Okay, so this is what I do. My niche really is kind of like POV style, but I also change it up. So if I have an idea that doesn't fit in that style, I'll do it anyway. So I typically will spoof either movie, shows, or POV style, but I'll change it up. So it'll be like I'm putting a character that doesn't belong in a universe in whatever show I like. So I used to have a series where I would put Euphoria in any other universe. So I'd be Maddie from Euphoria, which is like a very, I wouldn't say foul mouth, but she's, don't mess with her kind of character. Into children's shows, so the dichotomy of just like the really mature character with the children's character was just kind of funny. I guess, yeah, my process is I look at what's popular. I say, okay, what does my audience want to see? Because I can't just do what I want, because my audience is pretty young. I would say that they're as young as like 7 years old, which is crazy, and into teens, like 7 to teens, which is kind of a wide range. But for example, I really like the show Bridgerton. I tried to do Bridgerton content, and I tried to even make it younger and like not make it mature at all and try to add like Taylor Swift or something in it. And it just doesn't work. So for me, I just try to stay in more of the like PG realm and whatever teen shows or movies are trending, I tend to go with. And then I think about it like, what's funny to me about this? So for example, I did Geek Girl recently because people kept telling me I look like this person. I watched the show. It's such a typical, early 2010s book to show. I'm so familiar with this format because I was huge on reading. And so then I just was like, okay, let me take every single show that I know that's like this and let me make it into a sketch. So it was like every show about a misfit girl. And then I basically will think of like a movie in my head. So I mostly thought of Tall Girl because it really was so similar to Geek Girl. A lot of the tropes were the same. And then I just change a couple things. And so I'll write a script, and the script will have like 5 to 6 different little scenes that have maybe like 6 lines each. I'll film each character individually. And then my editing process is I'll put the characters in order and edit down for length, and then sound design, if I have to do any random like overlays and stuff like that, and then I'll add captions on. So that's how I make my shorts. And they take, usually, depending on what they are, POVs are like 2 hours, and the green screen stuff takes me like 5.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And good advice on the whole catering to your audience thing. Sometimes when I make my content, sometimes I do stuff I think people will like, but in the end it turns out there's a very little audience. So I'll try to keep that in mind when I come up with my content.
Yeah, it's one thing that I wish wasn't the case, because you always want the people who follow your videos to be like exactly like you, because then they'll like exactly what you like. And for me, I'm happy to have younger people as my audience. I just have to be more cognizant of that. And they're great and they're very kind. I feel like sometimes people who are adults can be a little mean in comments, whereas at least that I have kids, they're very nice. So I'm like happy to make content that caters towards that end of things, just for the fact that I don't feel like I'm being harassed online.
Now, as you know, a common problem for actors/actresses is the potential burnout from the job sometime later in the career, which leads to my next question. What drives you to keep doing what you love despite the roadblocks you face?
Okay, so the thing with acting is right now is I'm trying to get representation. I don't have any. I go to acting class every week. Personally, I just really enjoy acting, and because of my job, which is I'm so grateful, I get to act every single day if I want to, and I get to make money doing that. And so I don't have that same desperation that a lot of up-and-coming actors do, because I get it. They're working a job to support hopefully being an actor, and acting is like a really, really non-linear and all over the place career. You could get one really good thing and then that's it, or you could get a bunch of little things, or you could get nothing. It's really kind of up in the air. So I guess I can speak more to burnout maybe as a content creator than I can as an actor. But burnout as a content creator, there's sometimes that I really truly am like, I don't feel like doing this today, and I don't feel like putting on makeup. I don't feel like making people laugh or entertaining. I always have ideas because I'm like constantly putting them in my notes app and stuff, but sometimes I don't feel like developing them. So I just try to give myself grace, because I started this in 2020. So it's been 4 years now that I've been a content creator, and I've been ultra devoted to what I do. I mean, I try my best to put out something every single day, and that's a lot. It's a lot to put out something every day. So lately, now that I've had a year under my belt of doing this full time, I've been able to say, you know what, if you're not feeling this today, that's fine. And then when maybe you're more productive tomorrow, just do 2 videos instead of 1. And that's kind of been helpful, because I used to have this guilt of like, oh, I didn't get this video out today, and then it would make me feel so bad, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills and yada yada yada. But it was all in my head, like I just I'd never done this job, and I didn't know how much money I could make, and I didn't know what my future was going to look like. But now that I have more of a view of like a year under my belt of how it kind of looks, I'm a little bit more lenient with myself, and I try not to push myself so I avoid burnout. Like even now, I'm so close to the million on YouTube. I want that plaque so badly. And I'd love to get it before my birthday, which is in 2 weeks. But instead of trying to double down on videos for 2 weeks and make myself miserable, I've got a lot of things going on. I'm like, you know what? Just get the normal work done, and you'll get there when you get there. I think that's how I avoid burnout, is truly that. It's like, I see the goal, I put steps toward the goal, but I don't do extra to make myself dislike what I'm doing.
That's pretty good advice because that's the same thing for me. Sometimes I come up with an idea, but every now and then I forget it, either because I feel lazy, or sometimes I get distracted by something else like school or or extracurricular activity. But I get what you're saying about coming up with steps and try to give yourself a break because you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself. And the most important thing is to keep doing what you love and don't let the pressure of other stuff get to you.
Yeah.
Now, I hear you're about to hit 1 million subscribers on your YouTube channel. Tell me, after that milestone, what are your plans for your channel moving forward?
That's a great question, and it's one I've been thinking of. So once I hit a million, it doesn't mean anything in terms of monetization, right? I'm still gonna be making the same amount of money I make. It's literally just a plaque and like a job well done. Like, wow, look at you, you got a million, great. So nothing really drastically is gonna change. I think what I want to focus on though, now that I feel like I've built a solid platform, is I want to focus on my long form. So I have a video. I don't know if it's coming out today because my editor's working on it. Should be coming out. Well, if it doesn't come out today, it's definitely coming out tomorrow. I want to try doing more commentary type YouTube and focus more on my long form because I tried editing myself into movies and with mixed results. I wanted something that was a little bit more consistent. And so I tend to watch YouTubers who will basically do like stand-up about a movie. You know, they'll put a movie on and then they'll have already watched it and give their 2 cents on whatever. And I always thought that was really fun. So I'm gonna try that form of being a YouTuber because my main goal is this. Now that I've hit this milestone, it's kind of about community building. And there's a couple things that I would like to do. One, I would like to do less. So if I can do 1 long form a week and then maybe like 3 shorts and then be working on putting out music or honestly just like hitting the ground running a little bit more with acting outside of the virtual space, that I think would make me really happy. So I would say, to sum it up, community building, focusing on long form, putting out original music, and just having more time to do more real, like IRL opportunities for acting.
Wow, that's a pretty good plan, and I can't wait to see what your channel comes up with next because the videos I watch since that that TikTok thing where people crash into stuff and to introduce the product and stuff.
Yeah. The small business TikTok, yeah.
Yeah, that video. Ever since I watched that one, I've been fully engrossed in your channel, and it's pretty. And all the videos are pretty funny, and they always brought a smile to my face. And I'm really glad to find a YouTuber with, that is talented and cool as you.
Thank you, and I'm glad that I have a fan who's as supportive as you and cool as you. Cause that's all I do. That's all I want. I just wanted to have people to come to my page and have fun, and it's not like I don't know. I'm not trying to tell you my worldviews of anything, or like it's not serious. Everything is just for fun.
That's why I started my channel too, because I always wanted to show off the skills I have and to the world, regardless of what other people think. And even though I forget to post every now and then, I still have a lot of fun with my channel because the whole point of Ramirez Productions is to show off my work and express myself and stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's great. And if this is just a general note, but to anyone who wants to start a YouTube channel, first of all, I say, yeah, do it, because I mean, it's great. I wouldn't have the life I do today if I didn't have YouTube. But the number one thing that I can say, when people are like, okay, what do I need to be a YouTuber? You just need to enjoy what you do, because if you don't, you are not going to do it. If you are like, oh, okay, I see people making videos doing, I don't know, content about finance, but you hate finance and really don't care about it at all, it's going to come through in your videos, and you're not going to consistently put them out. So what I say is, whatever you do, just make sure it's something that you would do even if you didn't get paid.
Okay, thanks for the great advice. All right, now here's a fun personal question. If you had a chance to star in any type of movie, what kind of movie would it be, and who would you want as your co-star?
Well, okay, so the type of movie and who would I want as my co-star? Oh, okay, great question. Okay. I think I would want to star... Okay, this is so silly. I would want to star in like a really bad book to movie, like some sort of like teen romance book to movie thing. Obviously, I know I'm not a teen anymore, but you know what? They cast they cast people my age all the time and those kind of stuff. So I could still be cast. So I would want to be one of those, and my co-star, ugh, that's so hard. I think I would want my co-star to be Jacob Elordi. Just because I think it's funny because he kind of got stuck in that genre a little bit. I mean, he's out of it now, although he's going to be back in Euphoria, which I think is hysterical. I feel like they're going to have to make that in college or something because it's so much time has passed. But yeah, I would probably want him as my co-star.
Yeah, Jacob Elordi is a good guy and stuff. I saw him on Saturday Night Live a couple of months ago. He was a decent guy, although the only thing I didn't like is that, like you said, they kept casting him in the plain old hot guy and stuff like that. And the one sketch they had that didn't have him as hot guy got kept for time. But he seems like a good actor.
Funny.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a sketch starring those three guys who sometimes do those pre-recorded sketches called Please Don't Destroy, and he was some kind of janitor. And noticing their cars broke down, they try to pimp his ride and stuff like that, and only to discover they made the car a complete mess and stuff like that, and he ends up suing them at the end. That was one of the only few roles that he wasn't the hot boyfriend or the hot guy or whatever and stuff.
Yeah, you know what? You're so right, and I don't want to fall into that trap either. It'll be one of those movies, but I'll have him be the nerdy guy.
Yeah.
How about that? But I actually think that would be really funny if he got cast in something like that. Just because it would be so out of typecast for him, and that would be great. Yeah, I would want it to be a comedy. Whatever the heck I'm in, I want it to be a comedy, or have it be a drama, but have it be so melodramatic that it's funny, like Twilight.
Yeah. I heard that. I heard those movies are called I think normie movies. Like sometimes the overdramatic acting can be sometimes comedic, even if they don't mean to and stuff.
I love that. I think that's like my favorite form of acting.
That's pretty cool, and I really hope you do get cast because you definitely have some acting skills.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, now for my final question. What advice do you have for anyone who wants to be an actor/actress or a content creator?
Okay, well, I already answered some of them. Like I said, for content creation, it's just about do what you love to do and what you do without getting paid, because you're not going to get far past that. For being an actor and actress, honestly, I wish I had some people giving me some advice, because I feel a little stuck in that realm. It's all about practice, and both of them, they're kind of similar in this way, is no matter what you do, it's like being an athlete. So you can naturally have acting chops, but you're only going to get better if you go to an acting studio or you're constantly in shows and stuff. Like, just keep honing in on that skill, because even like the best actors still go to acting class. Like, what's his name? I'm pretty sure Denzel Washington. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm thinking about what is his name? Am I thinking about Morgan Freeman? One of those two. I'm getting them mixed up. They both like read like playing God in a movie type character. One of those, they still go to acting classes, and I just thought that was really cool to hear. And I think it's really important. I think that the longer that I am out of acting, the more afraid I am to jump back in. But when I do it regularly, I get so excited and like confident in my abilities to then just take it to a more professional level. So I would say I don't really have any tips about getting jobs. I need those tips, but in terms of just like keeping your love for the craft alive and doing your best work, I would just say put yourself in shows, do acting classes, and then content creation, do things that you love. And then I guess the best tip that I could give you if you're starting out is you have to be consistent. If you're not consistent, then you're not going to go anywhere. You can't post once a week and expect one of those videos to blow up. You have to treat it like a full-time job until it becomes at least a part-time job for you, if you're really serious about it. At least that's how I took it in the beginning. I was like, okay, I'm just going to be a content creator and I'm just going to do this every day until it's my job. And then it was my job. And it took a while. It took me like, I probably got it I started in 2020, March 20, and then it was my full-time job by probably November of 2022. So I was able to do that by just doing it every single day. But yeah, it just takes time. Really, it does. And so I'm not saying that you have to burn yourself out, but definitely just know that if you step into this, it's hard work, but it's really, really worth it, and it's what you want to do.
Yeah, thanks for the great advice, Emily. I'm actually in theater. I'm actually actually in theater a bit in high school right now. I used to be in the theater class, but I dropped out so I could do AV. But every now and then I audition for the musical and then stuff like that because it's always fun to do. So I guess if I ever become an actor, I'll try to be more consistent with the shows and stuff. And if I ever do get to college, I'll try to schedule a class if I really want to continue in the acting thing.
Yeah. Oh, and there's one thing about acting that I want to say because I think it's really important. A lot of people will tell you all the time, like, you should have a backup plan. You think this, you should, like, if you like anything else, do that, whatever. I don't agree with that. I think that's stupid. But what I will say is acting for 99% of actors is a hobby. There's a very few people who actually make it their career. So what I would suggest is don't lose your love for acting, but whatever you do in order to be an actor, just make sure that you don't hate that part of your life either. Because the saddest thing is when actors focus all of their energy on just wanting to be an actor, and then all these other interests that they can have kind of go to the wayside because that's all that they care about. I think being a well-rounded human is super important to being a good actor. And if you treat it too, like, you know, you can be serious about it, but it's a really, really serious hobby until it becomes a serious job. Because I just know that some people take jobs that they really hate to support being an actor, and then they do that for years and years and years and not know if it's actually worth it. So if you're able to, find a job. You don't necessarily have to love it, but find a job that you can tolerate, that you don't mind doing, so that, you know, in the meantime, when you're working toward getting an acting job, you're not miserable. Because that's what's kind of sad to me. And it's not about money. It really isn't. Like, I'm not a materialistic person, but I just think that there's a lot more in life than just acting. You know, there's traveling, there's, you know, making personal connections with other people. There's so many other fun things that you could get into. So I would say just not to be so singularly focused. I get it. Like, I want to be an actor so much too, but don't make yourself want to be it so much to the point that you make yourself miserable, if you can help it.
I get what you're saying. Do not focus on just trying to do one thing, but open up yourself to other things, because even if you don't get a serious job or whatever, you still have other stuff like to do. Like, for example, I'm not into just acting. I also like editing videos and singing and stuff like that. So even if I'm not pretty much an actor kind of guy, I still have other stuff I can do that I'm dedicated to, even if the whole acting plan falls apart.
Yeah, and sometimes it takes people 20 years to be an actor, 40, like, you know, there's no timeline for you to be an actor at any age. And I think that's great. And especially like editing. Editing is really lucrative. If you get really good at that, you could definitely do that for a living. And if you like that, then and you kind of work for yourself a little bit, you know, you become an independent contractor. So I would say that's a really creative thing that you could enjoy doing, even if you're not acting.
Okay, thanks for the advice, Emily. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for chatting with me, Emily. It means so much to me that you're my first guest on my very first episode of Jesse Chats With. And don't forget, if you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of today's episode and who you want me to interview next. And don't forget to check out the rest of my channel for more cool content, as well as Emily's channel, which I'll leave a link to down below in the comments. Once again, I'm Jesse Ramirez.
And I'm Emily Fitzgerald.
And thanks for watching the very first episode of Jesse Chats With. See you later.